up next, we have a lightweight kickboxing bout.
Now we have Belcher, who's with those Category 5 guys. I've seen him warming up. He certainly seems, I've not seen him fight, but I've seen him hit the pads. He certainly seems to know what he's doing there.
Dangerous guy, one of their striking coaches. And there was so much bad blood between these two at weigh-in. Just an intensity about this bout that you don't often see, so I'm really looking forward to this one. I've got to give a shout out to Roman Belcher's Gladiator t-shirt. It reminds me of an Iron Maiden shirt.
Yeah, we had a slight hiccup there in the ring announcer accidentally calling the pro boxing match. We're going to have a lightweight kickboxing match here at 155 pounds. Roman Belcher looks pretty well sized. Looks like somebody who probably knows how to cut some weight properly.
And you know, something we should talk about, I spoke to Eric Toon backstage during intermission. Category 5 got some really terrible news this morning.
The whole West Virginia MMA community, unfortunately.
Our former fighter, Stephen McGrew, passed away about a year ago from heroin overdose. It's something he's been battling. We got the news this morning. You know, Category 5 did that his twin brother.
We need Mr. Baker to make his way to the octagon.
They got the news that Stephen's twin brother Shane, who also has competed for us in the past, another great fighter, has also overdosed on heroin and is not doing well. He's fighting for his life right now. So, you know, our thoughts and prayers go to the McGrew family in all Category 5.
Yeah, definitely. And some of the nicest guys that I've ever gotten to meet in martial arts. You know, obviously I only know them from when I saw them in cards, but I met them back in 2017 or 2018 when I was fighting down in Virginia. And we were like, oh, hey, we're both from West Virginia. We both made the long drive. And we kind of talked with each other while we were warming up backstage and stuff. Some of the nicest guys that I ever got to encounter in a locker room. And it's a tragedy to lose them both.
Well, you see these tragic stories in combat sports, like the Von Erich brothers. It's like these families that it's almost like they're cursed with these, you know, these awful things happening. And my prayers go out to the McGrew family. My heart breaks for them. But stepping into the cage now is Eathan Baker. He is 1-0, training out of Reaction MMA. As we've seen, these Reaction guys are the real deal. Rob Nickerson, heading that camp, has put together one of the most elite teams, not only in the Kentucky area, but that I've ever seen.
Well, we see these two kind of getting in each other's faces here before the fight even begins.
And this happened at weigh-ins. There was a lot of tension between these two fighters. I expect to see fireworks in this one, Colin.
And even though these gentlemen are both making their amateur kickboxing debut, high-level camps appear to be high-level fighters, I expect this to be a good scrap.
Will be a lightweight kickboxing bout at 155 pounds, 2 minutes, 3 rounds. And before we get started into this bout right now, this is one of the bouts. Pre-bout was voted it could be the bout of the night. So we're gonna wanna pay attention to this one right here. We have kickboxing out of the blue side of the octagon, wearing the paisley shorts, Roman Belcher. His opponent fighting out of the red side of the octagon, wearing the shorts that have the name Eathan Baker.
If you forget who the combatants are, you can always just look at the junk of both of them and see which one's Eathan Baker.
Wearing the shorts that say Eathan. It's Eathan. And here we go.
No touch of gloves there.
What's sad is his shorts don't say Eathan. They say Baker.
Nice outside leg kick there by Belcher.
Beautiful work from Roman Belcher to start. Nice angle change.
Yeah,
there.
we see a little bit of that dynamic playing out where we've got more of the traditional Thai style with the forward march and that Dutch kickboxing style.
That was a beautiful left hook to low kick from Roman Belcher. He's so clean.
Now, he did take a little bit of a left hook at the end of that exchange from Baker, but Belcher so far doing good work here on the outside, using that footwork to change angles, which is kind of what you want to do, although he did eat a hard teep to the body there. That's what you can't stand in front of that Thai style. Very difficult, at least. See a nice left hand in there as well.
Baker's just kind of pawing with that jab. I'd like to see him get a little more snap on it.
We did see him kind of commit there to one straight right hand that seemed to find the mark, but Belcher seems unfazed. Oh, but a nice punching combination to get into the clinch here.
They separate and start back. We're still seeing a lot of pawing from Baker.
Oh, and a nice kick to the belly by Roman Belcher.
Belcher's doing a good job dictating the range of this fight.
Yep. He's using his range, and honestly, it's kind of a similar dynamic to the one that we saw between, I believe it was another Category 5 guy and a Thai fighter at that last kickboxing card.
Baker's corner.
Baker landed a nice teep and a right hand there, but not enough snap behind any of his strikes. I believe that round pretty clearly goes to Roman Belcher.
I think that was the best moment of the round for him, but it's just not enough.
Yep. He did land one nice straight right hand where he settled in when Belcher was kind of in front of him for a second and threw a long straight right hand that found the mark.
And you see Rob Nickerson over in the corner of Baker elevating those legs, making sure they don't go dead on him. It's good work from Rob Nickerson. You know, he's been there and done that. He's the type of corner, he's seen every situation in a fight. What kind of advice do you think he's giving him here?
Well, I think one thing that we are seeing is when he's on the outside and using those kicks, the chin tends to drift up a bit for Roman Belcher, but he's kind of at a safe distance generally when that happens. I think the idea would be to try to get in the pocket just a bit more, make a little bit more of a firefight happen. You got to use that forward tie pressure to march somebody down into corners generally if they're using that kind of that Dutch style of footwork that, you know, we were talking about Lomachenko earlier in the night, right? It's obviously a little bit different, but that kind of amateur boxing style footwork that we see the Dutch guys bring into kickboxing, you know, via guys like Rob Kamen and Ramon Deckers and those types. But it can be very difficult to deal with. Generally, you need a good jab and a teep behind it.
Oh, beautiful left hook from Roman Belcher.
Yeah.
Rocks the head back of Baker.
Oh, no, we did see that was a better side kick and a teep there from.
I do believe that left hook hurt him there. He had to sharpen up to get him off of him.
Yeah, but his composure hasn't quite recovered yet.
Roman Belcher cracked him again in that exchange.
Oh, and a good kick to the body there by Roman Belcher.
And that Roman just pouring it on.
Yeah, a little bit of a question mark type kick over the glove there.
Good right hand. Roman does a great job of changing angles. Corner calling for that low kick, followed up with a high. Keep changing levels with your kicks. Yeah, his corner's doing a great job. He started throwing only kicks. His corner said, now throw punches. Beautiful job.
Oh, and a nice right hook on the exit from the clinch there.
Excellent work from the corner of Roman Belcher. And a good combination there, 1-2 kick.
Oh, and he just slips out of the way of that right hand. It's a good head kick into that.
One thing I like about Belcher as well, he's so active, but his defense is always on point as well.
Belcher's doing a good job of controlling those clinch exchanges with a little bit more volume and knees. We haven't seen Baker really make him respect the clinch. He's kind of using the clinch as a mechanism to hold and slow the fire down. But now he's getting a little bit of forward pressure going on Belcher, but
Belcher just clinches and turns him around.
Yeah, and you see
whether he's inside or out, Belcher's dictating the distance of this fight, and he's doing a brilliant job at it. And that wheel kick touches him there at the end, and he smiles.
Now, one thing we are seeing a lot of from Baker is when he gets in the clinch, kind of some what we would generally consider to be bad habits, kind of going around the head, almost like he's looking for a head and arm throw, Valentina Shevchenko style, which is, you know, generally not the kind of posture that you want to take in a fight with standing knees and, you know, where takedowns aren't clean. So I'm interested to hear to see what kind of adjustments he tries to make coming out of this third round, because that first round was very tightly contested. This has still been a tightly contested match, but Belcher's really starting to kind of take over.
I think he's definitely up 2 rounds. Baker's going to have to do something drastic here. He's going to have to probably put him away. Judging by the rules we've seen so far, I don't know if they're scoring 10-8 rounds for knockdown. So if I'm in the corner of Baker, I'm telling him this is it. You need a finish here.
And it's an amazing transformation we're seeing, like a good meeting of the minds with all these striking guys starting to train there at Category 5. I mean, Category 5 historically primarily a jiu-jitsu gym with very high-level jiu-jitsu. I mean, Wes is a very good teacher.
I'm not sure who it is in the corner right now of Roman Belcher, but he's doing an excellent job. Yep. He's giving great advice. He looks a little like if Eric Kuhn took a nap for like 20 years, like a Rip Van Winkle situation, and woke up, and he'd be that guy. But I'm not sure who he is. I know he does excellent work, though. I'm very impressed. Good side kick from Roman Belcher to start the third. Oh, and a high kick.
Oh, and a good knee to the body there. I think he feels that he's kind of hurting him with those knees. Yeah, and we see again he's going for that kind of prison guard tie-up.
And Roman's corner's telling him he's hurt.
Oh!
And a massive right hand. It was exactly what we said. Yep. He needs to do something big, and he just did it.
And that's that straight right hand that was just barely missing the mark earlier. And we saw in round 2, we saw Roman Belcher just barely slip out of the way of it.
Can Roman Belcher survive?
Oh, and a head kick and a right hand behind it.
And another right hand from Baker lands, but not with as much power as that last one. This just turned into a fight.
Oh, and he just barely slipped out of the way of that one. But we see Belcher use it again to enter into the clinch and do some work with knees.
And he's telling Belcher to pour it on. The corner's calling for him to go. They know he needs this round 2.
Oh, and we got a Superman punch there landed from Baker.
Because if you score that at 10-8, then we got a draw here, ladies and gentlemen.
And that was a clean knockdown. That wasn't setting somebody down with a side kick. That was a punch to the face that set him completely backwards on his ass.
Big right hand from Baker, and then Belcher comes back at him with a combination.
And he's just, again, wrapping the head up and staying close. He doesn't need that. We've got 40 seconds left to work. He's got to put a stamp on this fight if he wants to win.
Big right hand, but he doesn't do any damage there, and Belcher marches forward and lands his own.
Oh, and then that nice slip right to the back. Beautiful
Excellent work in the clinch by Belcher. Oh, and another one!
Now, that's not clean, I don't believe, under the Kentucky rule set, holding the kick and throwing punches, but he's getting warned for it. But we got 20 seconds left, and we're not going to have a point deduction for that.
He ducks and tries to throw a big right hook, but Belcher gets him in that clinch, throwing knees. Oh, and a beautiful hook from Roman Belcher.
There was another right hand landed in that exchange
by Baker. They are going to war.
Too.
10 seconds left. Belcher is throwing. What a fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's quite a round. Now, I do believe, if in my scoring, I would call that a 10-8 because I do believe Baker won that whole round, and I think he also scored that knockdown. Even if it's not an automatic point for the knockdown, I think he controlled the pace enough and the damage of that knockdown. That would be enough in my mind
my question,
for it to go 10-8.
Would you score that a draw?
I would personally probably score that 28-28.
It's going to be very interesting when we see the judges' scorecards here.
Amazing fight turned in by both of these gentlemen. Roman Belcher, phenomenal work in the first 2 rounds, and tremendous heart by Eathan Baker to stay tough in that fight, even whenever he seemed to be losing his composure a little bit. Come back and set Roman Belcher down in that 3rd round. Really doing his best work of the fight in that round. We saw him land that straight right hand early in round 1 one time, just barely on the end of it where he wasn't quite able to get full extension. And in the 2nd round, we saw him throw it a few times and just barely miss. But then we see the whatever animosity there was between these two is lost as the respect is gained by mutual skill exchange.
New Line Cagefighting 2024, Central Bank Arena. You wanted action, we gonna give you action. We had to go to the judges' scorecard for this bout. And our judges have scored it. Judge number 1 scores it 28-28. Judge number 2, 28-28.
Yep.
Judge number 3, 28-28. We have a draw, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, we're going to talk to both of these guys. But first, I want you to give it up for 2 absolute warriors.
Phenomenal fight.
Now, Roman, I'll start with you. This was a crazy fight, absolute war. First 2 rounds, you looked so sharp. We thought you were up 2 rounds to nothing. He changed the equation with that big knockdown. You were able to get back up and keep fighting. Did you think you'd done enough to win it?
Of course I thought I did enough to win it. I mean, he caught me slipping on 1 lunch. But respect to him, he came out tough, I knew he would. But goddamn, I wanted that win. I felt like I had it. No complaints though. And went out southpaw, busted his body up, landed good shots out there. I couldn't box more. But not how I wanted it to go.
Now, Eathan, I want to talk to you, but I'm not done though. Eathan, I want you to tell me what's going through your head at the end of round 2. You knew you had to do something big to change this fight. So tell me what's going through your mind.
I knew I had to get 10-8. I knew I was down to I had to get 10-8. So I came out for the fucking right hand right on the chin.
So when you landed that big right hand, did you think that was it? Did you think he was going to get back up?
No, I knew he has good conditioning. I knew it's going to take more than 1 knockdown to finish him off.
Now I want to ask both of you guys the same question. What's it feel like to be in a war like this?
Felt fucking amazing. Got me slipping on that 3rd round. I didn't even go cap. But something to work on, you know. So that's what we do here. The amateurs getting experience. I felt like I won that fight. We were running it back again. I should have fucking knocked you out. It's not a game.
I think we may see a rematch here. Would you guys like that? Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Eathan Baker and Roman Belcher.